let's talk a little bit about how the TLD world can actually make your site safer and your users safer. Artemis and NCC Group have applied for .secure. Our goals with .secure is to create the internet's safest neighborhood. We want to provide consumers with information about the companies they're going to and let them know which organizations care a lot about security and want to join .secure and which ones perhaps care a little bit less. We also want to set meaningful security standards for .secure and help both enterprises and smaller businesses live up to those standards and make their systems safer. And in the end, our goal is to innovate. We want to innovate to make security transparent to consumers, to make it easier for consumers to use the internet safely. The three basic concepts of .secure are verify, secure, and enforce. Verify means that everybody who applies for a .secure name is going to have to prove who they are. They're going to have to submit proof of their identity, of any applicable trademarks, and of authorization from their corporate parent that they're allowed to apply for those trademarks. We're also going to have physical address verification. We'll be mailing stuff to that organization, so we will make sure that they are at an address that we can verify and tie to that organization through some other means. There's going to be a human being who approves every domain in .secure. There are a lot of protections that people can put in place with technology, but in the end, all of the different shenanigans and bad things that can happen on the domain name system are impossible to train a computer to look for. So we've decided that a human being, a full-time employee, is going to have final approval of every single domain. We're not going to allow squatting on other people's trademarks. We're not going to allow typos. We're not going to allow people to make false claims. So for example, I would be allowed to apply for alex.secure. My name really is Alex, and although I'm not a company, I'm allowed to apply as long as I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. I would not be allowed to apply for Bank of Alex or Alex Insurance. I'm not an insurance company, I'm not a bank, and I can't lie about that within my domain name. We're going to have multiple levels of verification with different price points attached. The goal being to allow both the largest enterprises down to individuals to participate in .secure at a level that is appropriate for them. The secure part of our idea means that we're going to have some basic policies that everybody has to agree to. The first one is an acceptable use policy. This is pretty basic. You can't do things in .secure that hurt users. No malware, no phishing, no spamming, no redirects to other sites, no affiliate scams. Just don't be a bad person. A more interesting policy is the security controls policy. All of the organizations that join .secure are going to promise that they are going to run certain security controls on the systems that power their .secure sites. This means things like HTTPS only. We're only going to allow encrypted content and encrypted connections to all .secure domains. And browsers are going to know that insecure content is never allowed from .secure. We're going to have limited certificate authorities, a set of limited extended validation certificate authorities from which you will be able to get .secure certificates, and that again, browsers will understand that. We're going to require content security policy deployed on websites. We're going to require anti-spam technologies for mail exchangers. Lots of security controls to make systems in .secure live up to the best practices of the most paranoid organizations and industries. These policies are not just going to be dictated by NCC Group and Artemis. These policies are going to be developed and approved by the community of people that participate in .secure. We right now are working with a small set of beta customers to build the first draft of those policies, but once we get going, our goal is to have the thousands of companies that are part of .secure see our proposals, to give us feedback and to vote on them before they get put in place. Obviously, we have to have this process because whatever ideas we come up with in 2012 or 2013, whatever baseline we create then is not going to mean anything 5 years from now. So we have to have a process by which we can upgrade and adopt new technologies and adapt to how attackers are going after real companies. We are currently working with large technology companies in a group called the Domain Policy Working Group to innovate and create an open standard called the Domain Policy Framework, or DPF. The goal of DPF is to allow us and members of .secure to advertise these are the security settings that browsers and mail exchangers and spam companies should expect and enforce on any domains within .secure. So for example, within a DPF record, we can say this site only runs under HTTPS. A browser that understands DPF would then only connect over HTTPS at the version that was specified and not allow any insecure connections. Again, DPF is an open working group. If you're interested in joining, please contact us and we'll send you the paperwork. And the last concept that underlies .secure is enforcement. we are going to perform continuous scanning for violations of our acceptable use policy, looking for zero-day malware, looking for phishing attempts, and responding to abuse complaints. We are also going to scan for violations of the security controls policy, looking for unpatched servers, looking for obvious web application vulnerabilities, looking for ports that should not be open on .secure servers. There will be multiple levels of enforcement based upon the seriousness of the infraction. So for example, if somebody has a slight version mismatch versus their DPF record or our policy, they will get a ticket and an email and eventually a phone call that they should fix it. Something like intentional hosting of malware or phishing will get that domain pulled from the DNS immediately and suspended until they can come and prove to us that this was an accident or something that won't happen again. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at info@artemis.net. Thank you.